I have the pleasure of being joined by Ole Miss offensive lineman
Jayden Williams.
Now, Jayden, you've been a starting offensive lineman for the Rebels now for a number of years. You missed some time due to injury. Y'all played a phenomenal game last week. How does it feel kind of being back and, being healthy and then, being able to not give up a sack against such a great defense like Georgia and such like a tough road environment?
I think it's a relief because, like you said, I missed a lot of games, especially last year. So to get to actually go against a team like this, been here for my third time going against Georgia, my first time actually being on the field, being able to go against them. So it feels good to do it.
I wanted to ask, what do you define as success personally on and off the field? Because I did hear that you are a family man.
I say being consistent on both on the field and off the field in the things that I have to do and the things that I want to do. So it's like, I always say like if I want to be a better football player, I have to be a better man because they correlate on and off the field. If I want to be a better dad, it all correlates somehow because I say with a dad, being a dad with the offense, being a dad first, sometimes when I'm sitting there with them younger dudes in the offensive line room, I feel like I feel like I'm being a dad sometimes and I'm just being like, okay, what are you doing? And it just reminds me of talking to my daughter, even though my daughter's young, it's like, sometimes I just look at her like, what are you doing? And it's just just being them things. So I think they all correlate and it all starts with consistency at the end of the day.
You've kind of got some fresh faces on this offensive line, kind of take me through it. Who has been kind of the biggest, guy that you've been working with kind of mentoring? Who have you kind of been working with the closest kind of maybe one-on-one?
I say the freshman, Devin Harper. He's going to be really good because he has things that you can't teach, like physicality and the way he plays hard. But it's little stuff that you got to clean up with him, plays too fast sometimes. And you have to get him there mentally. And I preached to him, sometimes it's okay to slow down. It's okay to do this. So I think with him, it's him the most and the other freshman, Connor House. And that was more so when he was playing at tackle. And we just sit and talk about stuff and he'll sit and pick my brain and ask all these questions. So it's him. He comes to me and asks questions, and I answer them happily. If they ever need help, I help them. Or it's even if I see something wrong that they're doing from a distance, I'll go tell them. Because I want them to, like I said, and I tell them this all the time, I want them to be better than me. Because and sometimes I feel like I haven't maximized, been here 5 years, I didn't maximize all my time the right way since I've been here. But I want them to do that, especially starting as a freshman. The earlier you get it down, is the better you'll be in the future.
Speaking of, how do you bounce back personally after a loss like this, and how do you communicate that to the other offensive linemen, particularly the young guys?
I mean, we played a good game. It's nothing just told in an interview, the first 5 drives we had, we scored 5 touchdowns, and then we stalled out. That's you don't want to stall out, but we did a lot of good things, and it can be one of those things where you let the wheels fall off because we lost the game. We lost one game. We're 6-1. We got 5 games left. So you just have to stick with it. It's nothing to be down about. It's not like we went out there and put up 0 points or we struggled. We put up points, and we played where we just didn't get the results we wanted at the end of the day. And, that's just football. It happens like that sometimes. But at the end of the day, like I said, 5 games left. We got to move on, forget it, and do the same thing we did on the field versus Georgia, versus Oklahoma, and on and so forth.
Kind of going, you mentioned, doing the same thing on the field. How big of a factor was the crowd noise against Georgia? And do you think it'll play a similar role in how y'all operate against Oklahoma?
I think it'd be the same thing. I don't know if y'all go out to practice and you just hear the crowd noise just blaring. I just told it's way worse out there because you got 2 speakers on a golf cart 5 yards behind you, the crowd gonna be right there. And then you got every speaker on the field going too with crowd noise. So it gets overwhelming on the practice field. But it's when you get in the game, it compares nothing to what we hear out there on the practice field sometimes. So it's you got to dial in out there. So when you get out there in the game, the game it's a wave of emotion. So it's not constant yelling all the time because it just stops sometimes and you can get quiet sometimes. But out there, it don't matter what it is. It just goes and goes. So you can have no choice but to be dialed in each and every play in practice so we can get our work in. But in games, it gets easier.
Well, I was going to ask, what is kind of the style of Oklahoma play that you would describe? How would you describe their style of play?
It's different. It's different every week. They have a lot of different things that they do. So you got to account for a lot of blitzes, a lot of stunts, and a lot of things that you do. So it's you have to be dialed in this week because you're going to be playing on the fly a lot. You got to have your eyes in the right spot. But I compare them it's their defensive front with the production they have. I compare them to our team, our defensive line last year, because 31 sacks through 7 games they've played. That's hard to do for anybody. So it's I compare them in that way to our team last year because they had a lot of sacks and a lot of production last year. But it does come to a same thing where it's like you have to account for backers, people blitzing, and always have your eyes in the right spot and trust our rules and what we've gone out there to do in practice.
No, there have been some really fantastic offensive linemen that have come through this program. And, you talked about, you mentoring a lot of the younger guys. Who kind of was your biggest impact over the course of your career here at Ole Miss?
I'd say I got to watch a good offensive lineman and Nick Broker play for 2 years. So it's like I sat behind him at left tackle. I played beside him for a year. So watching him and watching the way he does, because that's your definition of a pro. Take care of his body, do things right on the practice field, plays hard. Mentally, he's always there, works out hard. So you get to watch somebody like that, and that's helpful. And I tell you, when I actually got on the field as a younger player, Mason Brooks, who transferred in from Western Kentucky, and Hamilton Hall, he was actually my roommate while he was still here. They were big for me during the season because as a young offensive lineman, as a younger player, I could lose my mind out there sometimes on the field. And it's like they did a good job and watch me. If they see me make a mistake, they'll do the same thing that I do to our young offensive linemen. They'll come tell me if I got to play harder. Mason, he'll keep me dialed in with every rusher that comes in. So it was I say those three were the biggest.
Well, it sounds like you're becoming that mentor for the younger offensive linemen coming through also. But what would be the key to walking away with a win this weekend?
I say coming out and doing the same thing we did last week. Everybody was dialed in through practice, through meetings, through walkthroughs, treated the same way. It's the same, different game plan, but mentally you have to treat it the same way. It's another good team, number 1 ranked defense in the country, I believe, I'm not mistaken. Yes. So it's you treat it the same way, pay attention to every little detail. And like I said, it's a good team. You got to respect them, and we're going to their place. And, it's always hard playing on the road, but you don't let all those outside factors get to you. You just let it be. We're here to play football. It's the same game. Someone's been playing for 5 seasons, some for 4. It's the same game. It's no bigger than Georgia State or whatever. It's the same game to me. So, you go out there with the same mindset. It's just football. You know your job. You do everything you got to do to help the team win, and we'll win.
This is an offensive line that saw a lot of transfers in the offseason. How do you feel y'all have kind of come together? You talk about, the mentorship that you are able to provide and all that stuff. And, how do you feel y'all have kind of come together and meshed as a unit kind of over the course of the season with you talking about how well y'all have been dialed in practice and stuff like that? I think
the biggest part of it, we're close as a group off the field too, more than I think we have been any other year, because it's a lot of younger people in there. And it's just it's just some goofballs, I call them, all of them. It's something wrong with them sometimes. But I say as far as off the field, we're a very close unit, and that's from me to the youngest in the room. Everybody gets along. But I say on the field, as far as it goes, we had a lot of people injured in the spring, fall camp, a lot of pieces moving around. So the group that's out there right now, Georgia State and Kentucky, because with Lano coming back from injury, that was the first time we got to play one unit, same 5, since we've all been here. So I think that was the biggest thing, us all getting back out there, just a consistent 5, and us learning to play off each other and be on the same page. And I think that's what's helping over the course of the year, of why we've been playing better or why we're not as struggling as much.
What's 3 words you would use to describe this team and this unit?
I think the team a bunch of goofballs too. I was a bunch of goofballs, but this is we're family, we're understanding, and we hard workers. And we just we're not gonna quit. And I think that's the biggest thing I've seen from this team, coming from the summer to now, that I wouldn't say haven't seen in previous years, but that's what stood out to me. This team won't quit on each other. We're close, and it's just same thing, how the offense, it don't matter how old you are, how young you are, the color, it don't matter. Everybody's on this team close, and I think that's the biggest thing.
Thank you so much, Jayden. Wrapping up here for RebelWatch. And a big shout out again. Thank you so much, Jayden, and good luck this weekend.
Appreciate y'all.
Toddy toddy.
He'll bring pickled pig feet. Ooh, I done had coon meat. I done had everything.
You've eaten coon?
Yeah, my dad and we'll go hunt for it, and then we'll eat it and barbecue it.
You bring me some?
I will. We go again.